Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. Tony, a long dormant geyser in Yellowstone is spewing gas and liquid again.
I'm Tony Kornheiser. Better a geyser than a geezer.
Well, you don't want to be spewing at this stage. You've been to Yellowstone, though, right? I take it you've been there.
I've never been to Yellowstone.
No, get out.
No, I've never been.
Wow.
I mean, I always wanted to go, and I've never been.
I've been. I was a little kid, but I was there.
Yeah, that's good. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, who's better between Duke and Arizona? Are pitchers too precious for the World Baseball Classic? And Kendrick Perkins joins us for 5 good minutes. But we begin today with the Arizona Cardinals' new head coach, Mike LaFleur, informing quarterback Kyler Murray that they plan to release him next week, barring a trade. Murray was a two-time Pro Bowler under Cliff Kingsbury and earned a huge extension, but hasn't lived up to it. Murray was the #1 pick in the draft after winning the Heisman at Oklahoma. Wilbon, what do you make of this decision and where both the Cardinals and Murray go from here?
Well, Tony, I guess the only reason I'm not truly shocked is because so many prognosticators have talked about it now for about 2 weeks. You know, if Kyler Murray gets cut, if he gets waived. So he has been. So now you put a quarterback on the market, and there always is a need somewhere for quarterback play, whether it's marginal starters. Jets is one.
Jets.
Miami.
Jets always need.
I mean, Minnesota. They want to get rid of this kid already. You know, it's year 3 he'd be going into.
Yeah.
Cleveland, as always. So there's always some spots. You know, but I just think with Kyler Murray, where does he fit? Where does he fit potentially? And is there a coach and a staff in place that can get out of him what a staff got out of Sam Darnold, reclamation project? Baker Mayfield, after moving around multiple places. Does Kyler Murray have that kind of talent in him? As, let's face it, I have to say it, an undersized quarterback, 5'10". But Kyler Murray's had some good seasons. He's had some seasons where he threw 3 times as many touchdown passes, interceptions, has run for more than 500 yards multiple times. There's some talent in there at under 30 years old who's willing to take a chance.
I'm surprised by this. I'm not surprised by it today. I'm surprised by the arc of Kyler Murray's career. Because Kyler Murray in his first 3 years, in his second year, he ran for 11 touchdowns and threw for 26. In his third year, he threw for 24 against 10 interceptions. You know, in my mind, Kyler Murray was sort of like the Lamar Jackson west of the Mississippi. So I did not expect to see this kind of decline. I agree with you. I mean, in the spirit of Sam Darnold and the spirit of Daniel Jones, that somebody should want him. I remember saying on this show last month they should trade him even up for Tua. And maybe the Dolphins and the Cardinals with a quarterback switcheroo, maybe they would both be a little bit better. But I am surprised at this, and I wonder about this one other thing, Mike. He was drafted #9 overall in the baseball draft by then Oakland A's some years back. He's going to be 29. Maybe it's too late. I sort of wonder, would he consider going and having a baseball career? Because he's certainly got enough money. He doesn't have to worry about it. Let's move on. Now to college basketball. Last night, #1 Duke went to NC State, pounded the Wolfpack 93-64. #2 Arizona at home beat down #6 Iowa State 73-57. Both Duke and Arizona have now clinched their conference regular season championships. Wilbon, which team impresses you more right now?
Tony, right now, this is a narrow margin. It's Duke. Because Duke has just gone nuclear on people since losing that game in Chapel Hill. Since then, I mean, they are just pounding people as if they are on some vengeance tour. And you're like, oh, my God, who did something to the Duke team that they are coming out and they're just up 20 or more on everybody? Now, I said narrowly because I love Arizona. They may not have a player quite as good as young Boozer, who would go equally at the top of a draft if it was held today. But Arizona's got an ensemble, and they got some big, strong kids and versatile players, and Burries, who is just the kind of guard. They got the backcourt alone for Arizona should scare people. It reminds me of like the UNLV backcourt that had Greg Anthony, remember, and Anderson Hunt. And they were just steady. I know, not everybody sticks around as long. Burries is a freshman. but they are so good and so calm, Arizona is, Tony, and they play in a tougher conference, and they've been tested. They got 10 wins against top 25 teams, so it's narrowly Duke ahead of Arizona.
I am with you. I'm with you on the narrow margin. If they had not beaten Michigan at a neutral site when Michigan was number one, I think I would be saying Arizona. But they did
Great
that.
point.
They were the better team. And speaking to the numbers, since then they've played 3 conference games. They were at Notre Dame. They had then number 11 Virginia at Duke. And then last night, NC State is a 19-10 team with a 10-6 record in the conference. Their margin of victory aggregate is 99 in 3 games. 99. That is domination,
games.
Holmes.
Yeah.
You know, now, speaking to your point about Arizona, here's who they have beaten this year. Houston, Iowa State, Kansas, Texas Tech, Florida, UConn, Alabama, BYU when they were ranked, UCLA when they were ranked. It's a very impressive list, which leads me to this, Mike. What is their coach, Tommy Lloyd? I'll be brief. What is he talking about when he says people are saying we're soft because we're a West Coast team? Maybe some people think that, but have you looked at that team? Because they play big boy basketball.
They do, man.
They score on the inside.
Big, strong,
That's where they score. So this is a narrative that Tommy Lloyd has created so that he can manipulate it to his own benefit.
We agree
that's
on
what
that.
That's about.
That is no doubt.
Yeah.
Like, dude, there's nobody's talking about the Arizona teams from 1994. What are you? Shut up. Just enjoy your team because we're all enjoying it.
Yeah.
I love watching Arizona. I really do. Let's move to the World Baseball Classic, Tone. The United States team took the field this afternoon for its exhibition opener against the Giants. Paul Skeens got the start. He's one of many A-list pitchers on staff. Giants president Buster Posey, Hall of Fame catcher, said, quote, "It's a great event, but we've also seen over the years that it can derail some pitchers just because there's no way to replicate getting yourself ready for what's essentially playoff baseball atmosphere in early March," close quote. Tone, if you were a GM with a pitcher on this staff, how would you feel about this?
I would be nervous. I would be anxious. I would hope that the day my kid was going to start, there was a rain out and somebody else's kid had to start the next day. If I were A.J. Hinch, and I know Tarek Skubal is out there pitching, and he's my best pitcher on the Tigers, and he's won 2 Cy's in a row, I believe, and he's maybe going to become a free agent at the end of this season, I don't know that I would be able to sleep at night. Because this is a very emotional thing, the World Baseball Classic. It's different when you wear your country's name across your chest. We saw this with the hockey players in the Olympics. Skubal wants to pitch. My understanding is he's going to pitch 1 game. It's going to be against Great Britain, and he's only going to go 2 or 3 innings. And then that's a really good draw for him because they probably use cricket bats and not regular bats. But yes, I would be very nervous about this. And you know why, Mike? Because under the best of circumstances, a pitcher can get hurt. And I would be nervous. I would.
Of course, you'd have to be nervous, Tony. And if you're the Tigers, you're hoping that satisfies Skubal going 3 innings in 1 appearance because Skeens did that in the exhibition.
That's
three innings.
Right.
That's enough, right? I mean, that's enough. But it is.
Yep.
It's going to be emotional, Tony. It's interesting coming this year, just a little more than a month after the Olympics, and you got
the hockey in the Olympics.
You have this comparison, right? And so I'm anxious to see it. It just seems that you'd be able to moderate. Now, I know you can't moderate the emotion. Like you said, when you got the USA on your chest and you're in that uniform. And we've seen some other countries with bat flips and antics and stuff. It's going to bring that out of you. And you can't be out there trying to just snap off every pitch if you're a starter and you've got a season upcoming and spring training ain't the same
I would point this out. Yeah, I would point this out. Sidney Crosby, who had the golden goal in Vancouver, right? He got hurt in the Olympics. Yeah. You can get hurt. Not your everyday player is not going to get hurt in baseball, but your pitchers can get hurt in baseball. So I read that the Giants asked Logan Webb not to do it, not to pitch, and he said he wanted to pitch. And you know why they want to pitch, Mike? Because of the way that ended last time when Shohei Ohtani struck out Mike Trout. And every athlete wants a gold medal opportunity, and this is what you get in baseball. Let's take a break. Coming up, would Jason Tatum's return to the Celtics be seamless? We're going to ask Kendrick Perkins.
We'll also ask him about a Cavalier saying the Pistons ain't in Cleveland's class. Tony,
I've got to
Buster
assume, Mike,
Posey,
that
Tone.
Skeens. I know,
Buster
but I've got
Posey.
to assume that Skeens and Scooble have been ramping up for this for a couple of months. You know, that they're not, they're ready to go. It's not going to be like spring training. They're ready on an emotional level.
I'm thinking I would have taken my time off. Otherwise, you don't.
We've got some basketball questions for our great friend, ESPN NBA analyst Kendrick Perkins. Let's start with this. Perk, the Celtics are rolling. And I feel the same way you do, you have had Jaylen Brown as your MVP. Now Jason Tatum is reportedly close to returning, and he recently said he's not coming back as a role player. So how optimistic are you that this whole return to the Celtics will go smoothly?
Why would it go any other direction, Tony? Don't they have the same coach in Joe Mazzulla with the same system? It's just a different supporting cast. Last night, they still shot 50-plus three-point shots. They still play 5 out at times where guys are just spaced out on the perimeter and you go isolation ball. That's what Jason Tatum loves to do. And him and Jaylen Brown are proving that they could work together and go and deliver a championship. Let me explain this. The Celtics are the most dangerous team in the NBA because they have zero expectations. They have zero pressure. No one expected them to be here. At this moment, they're playing with house money, and we're talking about a team that's led by a championship coach, the best two-way player in the game, because Jaylen Brown's the only player in the league that's top 5 in scoring and top 5 defensively when it comes to opponent field goal percentage. And now you look at the championship experience. Peyton Pritchard, Hauser, Derek White, that is the most experience in the Eastern Conference. They are playing with house money, and they're the most dangerous team because they're legit title contenders.
Perk, let's go to the teams surrounding them, 2 of them. Pistons and Cavs, who, of course, play tonight. The Pistons narrowly got by the Cavaliers without Mitchell and Harden Friday in OT, but one Cav told the plain dealer that the Pistons are not in the Cavaliers' class. Seemed a little dramatic to me, but do you agree?
Hell no. Is this the same Cleveland Cavaliers that was the biggest disappointment last season? Is this the same Cleveland Cavaliers that's led by Donovan Mitchell? And we all know that a Donovan Mitchell-led team has never been to a conference finals. Is this the same Cavs team that has 2 soft bigs in Jared Allen and Evan Mobley who folded last year like clean sheets in the postseason? When you look at the Detroit Pistons, the one thing that we don't question is their identity. Their identity is they're going to be physical every single night. They take on the identity of their head coach in J.B. Bickerstaff, a young superstar in Cade Cunningham. And then you have those 2 bulls in the middle in Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart when he returns, who, by the way, Isaiah Stewart is the best rim protector in the NBA. So if you're asking me who I'm picking when it comes to the Cavs or who do I trust more out of the 2, I'm rolling with the Pistons all day long.
All right, Tony would like all this conversation to stay in the East. I'm swinging it out west because we got to get some Laker talk in here. He's rolling his eyes right now. Perk, Luka, LeBron, how do you think it's going? Is it what you thought it would be? Is it less than?
Legend, let me tell you this. LeBron James right now has 1 foot in the grave, the other on the banana peel. He just waiting on this season to be over so he can leave the Lakers. Here's the bigger question, right, for the Los Angeles Lakers. Can Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves be your franchise guy to deliver a championship in the near future? And the answer is hell no, because neither one of those guys slide their feet defensively or are willing to play defense and their defensive liabilities. You got Luka, he gets scored on 49% of the time. Austin Reeves is getting scored on 48% of the time. And the way that the league is going, Cade Cunningham, Jaylen Brown, Anthony Edwards, SGA, all of those guys are 2-way players. You have to be led by 2-way players in order to succeed in the NBA for us reaching the NBA championship.
You've made me laugh 3 times already. I really like that. All right, let's get you out of here on this. This is a play from last night. You made your living in the paint because you're not 6'1", in case anybody doesn't know that. What did you make of the Jazz guard, 6'4" Keontae George, boxing out Jokic last night? And what did you think of the way Jokic responded, where it seemed to me he fell on the kid? So.
Well, look, shout out to Keontae George, and it just goes to show me what he's squatting in the weight room, right? Like, in order for to be able to handle that type of weight. But again, this has been the new norm, right? Guys has been coming at Jokic a little bit and testing him. He got into a little altercation a few games ago. So overall, I love where the NBA is going. I don't want to see any more jersey swaps. I would love to see more interactions like this, more altercations. I want the league to get back to being rivals and being enemies and being ops on the floor, and that's what we're seeing, Tony.
Perk, it's a great pleasure to have you back. Come back
bro.
again.
Appreciate it.
I miss y'all.
Absolutely.
I miss y'all. I'm happy to be back.
Good. Let's take one last break. Still to come, Braves DH Jurickson Profar could be suspended for the entire season.
That's a long time. And the Seahawks appear ready to move on without their Super Bowl MVP. What the hell is that? What is that?
That's sort of odd. Well, again, I mean, he won the MVP, but the defense